call the meeting to order. This meeting is being recorded. I would ask, is anyone else recording this meeting? Seeing none, if you'd please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we do have some special recognitions this evening. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A couple of really nice honors to share with you this evening. The first one, perhaps you want to come over to the podium so we can recognize you, is Leah Healy. Leah is a senior of the class of 2017, and she has been selected as this year's Worcester County Superintendent's Scholar. Leah is currently the class valedictorian with the highest GPA of 4.8 on a scale of 4.5. She's a member of the National Honor Society and the varsity math team captain. Her non-academic interests include being a competitive dancer and a dance class assistant. She runs in the Falmouth Road Race, raising money for Auburn Youth and Family Services, and is a holiday volunteer performer. Lee is hoping to study health sciences, but is as yet undecided as to what university or college that would be lucky enough to have her. So congratulations to Leah. And this is the award where Mr. Hanfield, Leah and myself will attend a special luncheon. This year will be at Clark University on January 10th, where she'll be recognized with all other peers from across the Central Mass area. So congratulations.
Wow, this
Thank
is
you.
some serious accomplishment. Any comments for Leah?
Well, congratulations, that's just wonderful. Of course, you study really hard, right? You work at it, and yeah.
That's excellent.
Excellent.
4.8, I wasn't aware that was possible. Very good for you. I guess if you're doing homework in your sleep, you could probably get a few points that way, but it sounds like you're pretty busy across the board and putting a lot of pressure on yourself, and it sounds like you're getting some great results. So we're very proud of you and glad that you came. If you'd like to come up here, we'd love to personally congratulate you. Very well done.
I can't wait to hear what college you go to.
Yeah, keep us posted.
Yeah, I hope they give you lots of money to go there, too. Yeah, I bet.
And then staying with the theme of excellence, Zachary, if you want to go over to the podium, this is Zach Taylor. He is the recipient of the class of 2017 Mass Association of School Superintendents Certificate of Academic Excellence. So basically, with the criteria that MASS puts in place, I want to share with you a few highlights of Zach's impressive educational career too. Zach has taken, I believe, including this semester, 8 advanced placement courses.
Yes.
Okay. He's a member of the cross-country team. He was in grade 9, the International Club this year. He participates in the Model United Nations. He's president of National Honor Society, in which he was admitted in grade 10. He's very involved in the music program at Auburn High, participating in concert, jazz, and marching bands throughout his high school career. He was also a part of the chamber choir as well. Zach's grade point average is 4.656 out of a 4.5 scale, and he's looking to become an astrophysicist with his dream job to be an astronaut. So congratulations to Zach for his incredible accomplishments as well.
Thank you.
Excellent, Zach. Welcome.
Wow.
Fantastic. Any comments for Zach?
I think I might know someone that goes out of space. Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You should be very proud of yourself. Some fantastic accomplishments. I can't believe that she edged you out by one and a half. But that's, again, I didn't know that even 4.6 was a possibility. So, parents, you must be very proud. These are some fantastic students, and they make Auburn proud, and it makes us feel pretty good about what we're doing up here, knowing that we're supporting and advocating for them. Any other comments?
Great job.
Zach,
Thank
would you
you.
like to come up here so we can personally congratulate you?
Congratulations, Zach. Good job.
Congratulations. Well done.
It's awesome.
he would do drama in some form. I was waiting to see that list.
And he does that too.
Yeah.
Great job. And at this point of the evening, Dr. Brunel, did you have anything else for them?
Well, the only thing I wanted to say was, as Mr. Scobie referenced, is always a great supportive families when children excel at these levels. So thanks to both families for your support. And also important for the committee to know is that there were a number of students. These two are our top two, but whose achievements are just so impressive. So it always makes it hard to select, but these two are certainly most deserving, Zach and Leah. So congratulations again.
Yeah. Congratulations, thank you. Make sure you keep us posted as to where you go from here, and stop back anytime, because to hear what you're accomplishing is really fantastic. It means a lot to us and makes our job here worthwhile. So, thank you, and you're free to leave because we don't have anything exciting coming up. That was about it. Thank you.
Oh, we have homework.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thank you.
It's good to see you
How
guys.
are you?
Hi.
Good to see you.
Great way to start off the meeting.
We gotta keep unifying this.
Okay, moving along.
Wanted to share with you the middle school cross-country team at their culminating Swirkle event, the Southern Worcester County League event. They won first individually, with the boys winning first as a team and the girls coming in third. Along with them having done that, I may have shared this with you, but deserving of recognition, under the guidance of the coaches of the cross-country team, all of the students and their families brought food. It was a couple of weeks back after an event that was held over at Lemansky, and brought food over to the police department. This was in recognition of the daily efforts of our police officers, and in remembrance of fallen officer Ron Tarantino. And I know it was nearly the 5-month anniversary to the day when they went, and I know in speaking with Officer Kennedy and a couple of the officers there, they were overwhelmed by the generosity of the students and families, and I think it was a very fitting tribute and stuff, so it was really nice, really nice.
Any comments? I followed the team, and I thought that the coaches did a fantastic job with the kids. It was a great season all around. And I also attended briefly, just long enough to drop a few items off at the police station, and 5 or 6 officers were standing in the, I guess, the banquet room. Banquet room is what we'll call it for that day, but I believe it was their presentation room. But they were very happy to see the students of Auburn coming in and supporting them. It was really special for the short time that I was there. I had a pretty good feeling when I walked out that door. So congrats to the coaches, the cross-country team, and of course, we're very proud of our police department as well.
Yes. I just have a question. Where do they run? I know they were gonna run up here and we changed that because of
Correct.
situations.
So their home field is Lemansky. They actually
Oh,
run
so they run-
around in that area
Oh,
there, yes.
okay.
Yep, it
That's
works out
good.
well for them.
That's good.
It does.
Yeah.
And I do want to, through the chair, mention Coach Goodrow and Coach Lutz, because they really had come up with this and spearheaded it with the kids. And all of our athletic coaches, just as any of our staff members who give of their time beyond the school day, that really enhance the experience kids have. So they certainly do that.
Good.
And I have 2 other quick updates, if I may, in terms of although I'm not sure if Isabella's are you gonna report it all on, through the chair, on the athletics?
Go ahead.
So on Monday afternoon, I had the opportunity to go to watch the girls' soccer team play in Grafton against Grafton, and the score was 0-0 at the end of the game. They then had a 10-minute overtime, no score, and another 10-minute overtime, so it came down to penalty kicks.
Oh,
And Auburn won with 4 penalty kicks in versus 1. So they move on to the next level. I believe it will be quarterfinals. Yesterday, unfortunately, the field hockey team played out in Lunenburg against Quabog, and they were defeated 3-2, but played extremely well. So I know they were disappointed, but they should be really proud of what they did. So, and we're in the throes of lots of playoffs for our kids, which is nice.
Congratulations to our teams and all of our teams across the board continue to excel. I was there last night when the girls got back. It was terrible to see them like that. I mean, once you get to that point of the season, it really takes the life out of you when you suffer that loss, especially since they used to go into the state finals. But it wasn't very nice to
It's
see
hard
them
fun. Oh,
getting
yeah.
off the bus and going to see their parents in the parking lot. But again, congratulations to the girls and congratulations to the coaches. A job well done for sure.
Absolutely, they made it that far, so.
Okay. Seeing no citizens' comments, we move on to the student representatives report. Isabella?
So there's been a lot going on with the junior class, especially lately. As of right now, we are in the midst of getting our field trip approved, which we will take in a month or so. We are planning on going to Bodeborg, which is a team building facility where you go with a group of people into a room and you have to work together to get out of the room and solve the mission. And last year's junior class went as well, and it was a great experience for all of them. Teachers too, they had a blast, so it was a really good experience. We're all really excited. Also, we have our fundraiser going on, which we are doing Krispy Kreme donuts. We are selling a dozen for $10, and they're a big hit throughout the school. And I also have my sign-up sheet if anyone here would like to buy some donuts. And then, lastly, the 4 officers for the class of 2018, on Halloween, we went out trick-or-treating for canned goods across the town, and mostly in the Packagug area. And we dropped off all of our canned goods to Auburn Youth and Family Services on Friday. We ended up bringing 6 boxes. So we were very thankful for all the donations that we got.
Very nice.
Excellent. Great job. Any comments?
Did you get some candy too?
A little bit.
Well, I would hope so.
Well, thank you for the report, and it's great to see our students out in the community helping out such great causes as Auburn Youth as well as others. Very well done, Isabella. Thank you. And you are free to go if you'd like. It's up to you. I know you're busy and you have homework and dance and lots of other things, so don't feel like you have to stick around, but if you'd like to, that's fine with us as well. I would now seek the approval of the minutes of October 18th.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of October 18th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, this is a vote. And moving on to the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. In your packet, we provided to you a copy of the strategic plan update that we made, and I want to thank all of the team members in attendance on October 17th. We worked for a couple of hours. We spend together twice annually to update each other, report out, and then go back and lead the charge in terms of completing the items. And as you could see in here, there are, and with each update we provide more and more completed items. We did add a few things on within the technology section in particular, but I would guess that probably, within a year or so from now, perhaps sometime next spring, we're really going to need to think about creating a new strategic plan, just because we'll be nearly having accomplished everything that's in this one, which is really impressive. It was back in November of 2013 that we actually gathered together. Many of you were there in the high school cafeteria and came up with this. So 3 years in, we're in excellent shape with what we're doing. So I thank everybody for their commitment on it.
Great. How often do they meet?
We meet twice annually to go over and do reports, but then there are people who spearhead each of the different goal areas and then go back. So it's really to do an update and plan what are the activities that we're going to do between now and our next meeting, which I believe is scheduled for April, this coming spring. And we'll post this on the website for people to see as well.
Great. And this is everyone volunteering their time.
It is, yes, it's beyond the day, volunteering their time.
That's
Yeah.
great. Much thanks to them. Many thanks to them. Any comments? Moving on.
The John and Abigail Adams Scholarship is one given away annually. This comes from the state for students who meet specific criteria. This year, 43 of our seniors received this, and in order to do so, As noted on here, they need to score at the advanced and proficient levels on the grade 10 MCAS test in ELA and mathematics. They also need to be in the top 25% of their class. So I'd like to read aloud the names of the 43 students being recognized. And what has become a tradition, Dr. Lozay and I go up and meet with Mr. Hanfield, and we recognize them all on the Wednesday morning before Thanksgiving with a nice breakfast in their honor. So well deserved for all of them. So the students receiving it are Elizabeth Inasoskis, Alexi Archibald, Meg Beauregard, Riley Beauregard, Ayana Bedard, Taylor Belog, Lindsay Berthume, Andrea Bolduck, Mary Byrne, Sarah Kavanaugh, Jesselyn Collette, Siobhan Collins, Max Donahue, Heather Elwell, Jessica Ferris, Megan Fleming, Emma Halloran, Leah Healy, you saw earlier, Rachel Hernley, Jasmine Hickey, Kylie Hines, Jillian Katinas, Victoria Kanicki, Eric Kozlowski, Yanni Gazarias, Paige LaFrancois, Patrick Lynch, Luke Matthews, Shannon McGrath, Amanda Miranda, William Mitchell, Brianna Montville, Renee Morin, Emily Nerell, Marcus Rodriguez, Julia Sipik, Zachary Taylor we saw tonight, Naeem Toomey, Jacob Turcott, Jason Usher, Nicholas Williams, and Allison Wohler. So congratulations to all of them, and we look forward to congratulating them in person.
Any comments?
Yeah, it's just wonderful.
It's great to see those numbers, and I would just say that when you send out the letters like that, straight from the superintendent's office, I know in many cases it's greatly appreciated. I've heard comments from various parents, and they just think that that's something really special. And we know that you do it at the middle school level as well for their accomplishments, and it doesn't go unnoticed. Just so you're aware.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for that. Moving on.
In terms of the unified sports, as you know, we started this actually last fall. I think you approved them attending a bocce tournament, and then we expanded to track in the spring. This year, we've actually expanded even further into basketball. And they had their first home game, which was played on October 27th. And as I noted here, they didn't win in terms of the score on the board, but everybody in attendance just thought it was really an awesome experience, with many people volunteering their time. The referees, the timers, all giving for the kids. So there is a game that will be played at Shrewsbury High on Monday that several of us are planning to attend. It was originally going to be on the 7th, but it got moved to this 14th. And there will be a jamboree at Auburn High. If you're able to stop by on the 19th. And that seems it's going to be in the afternoon, likely a 1 to 4. Coach Athletic Director Davis is still working out the details on that. And they actually do go this Sunday for the bocce tournament. So I thank the coaches, the families, and their IAs and ABAs who go and support them too. So really a great event. Great event.
Any
It
comments?
sounds wonderful. How many students is this involving, roughly?
It varies by sport, but I'm going to guess between some of our students in total, probably about 30, I think,
wow.
for basketball, because there are our special and typical students all combined too. So
Awesome.
I think that's about the number. May even be slightly more, because we're looking in terms of, no, it is more actually, because the bus to bring them is going to have more students on it than that, so probably more like 40 or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great program,
Yeah.
and heartwarming to know that we're doing our part to help out with it, really. But it gives you a pretty good feeling inside. And on that note, Dr. Brunel,
Sure.
did you mention something about the football team attending there? I think that's
They did.
probably worth mentioning, as well as the great season that the football team has year after year and continued
They-
this year.
They did, so I appreciate you reminding me of that. The night of it, we actually had I believe it was a leadership team meeting, so we weren't able, Dr. Lezay and I, to head over there that day. But I happened to speak to Mr. Hanfield on my ride home, and then to the athletic director, who called just to say to me, it was just such an awesome event. And the football players, upon completing their practice, came in to cheer the kids on, which was really special. for
It's
all of
great.
them.
It's great to know that we have students like that.
It is.
Kids in our community that look after one another.
Mm.
It
Really
really is.
special.
If I could just ask that, because it looks like we'll have another meeting before that Jamboree on the 19th.
Mhm.
Could I just make a note to update everything so we'll know?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think it's a great spirit of inclusion.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay.
The next item, wanted to make you aware of an incredibly generous donation from the Dole Food Company, coordinated by Mr. Bill Barakis. He's a regional director of Dole and the father of 4 former Auburn students. Made a donation of 266 cases of Dole fruit cups in different varieties. So as noted, I believe we included in here the letter of thanks from Janice King, our Director of Food Services. We wanted to make you aware and recommend that you accept them with gratitude.
Great. I would entertain that motion.
I'll make a motion to accept with gratitude the donation from Dole Food Company.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it is a vote. And we now move on to unfinished business.
Auburn Middle School, some more great news to share. We recently learned from Eric Moore of Lamar Pagano, who is our primary architect we work with, has been recognized by AIA Central Mass with a merit award for the interior design for excellence of Auburn Middle School. So there's going to be a recognition ceremony also on the evening of November 19th. Several of us from the district had been invited to that at Tower Hill Botanic Garden for a reception to serve as representatives of the middle school and SBC team. So a nice honor.
Absolutely. We knew that we had a nice building,
Yeah.
but that's
Mm.
that's the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
To know that others feel the same way. Moving on.
The mid-cycle review, Mrs. Reedy, our Director of Pupil Services, had shared with you an update recently, and what we have to do is continually report to DESE about any areas that may not have been fully addressed. So based on a notification that we received, no additional reports are required. The next coordinated program review, the CPR, will take place in the 2018-2019 school year. So I thank Mrs. Reedy and her team for their efforts, and pleased to be able to share that with you.
That's great.
That's awesome. To not have any findings or anything, that's terrific.
Okay.
The John E. and Ethel E. Riley Citizenship Award that is awarded annually, just wanted to share with you, since you have a representative who serves on the committee, has been awarded to Reverend Dennis Knight, the minister of the Packagug Church. So certainly congratulate him on his many great deeds.
Congratulations.
The budget meeting with local legislators. So recently, a number of us superintendents, along with business managers and school committee representatives, met following a Southern Worcester County board meeting. And as a result of that, we decided to outreach with Mr. Desto, Superintendent of Dudley Charlton, spearheading it, to invite local legislators for them to hear directly the concerns that districts have, which I will say vary depending on the district, but there are some common themes that we have in terms of circuit breaker and homeless transportation funding as well. So on November 17th, we've been invited to participate in this at Charlton Middle School. So we do have meetings next week on Tuesday and Wednesday. This would be the third meeting that week. But if any of you are able to attend, if you want to perhaps email Mrs. Ottner and let her know, and we can RSVP unless you know tonight. I will be in attendance at that. You can certainly gather information, but know that everyone is welcome to attend as well.
Okay.
In terms of Swanton Road, back when reported to you, I think it was probably back in August, in terms of the air quality tests that had been done, one of the recommendations was about making sure that the univents in the classrooms were not turned off. So one way to ensure that happened is to automate them. Mr. Fahey, our Director of Facilities, actually has the ability through a program to monitor and control the temperatures in all of the classrooms, and that way it takes out that human element. The cost to do so, and this is because we've got some funding through the Green Communities Grant, will be approximately $100,000. So we do have funding in terms of HVAC in the capital improvement plan. Therefore, we will be completing that work. So that really was the only recommendation, I would say, other than some, very minor ones that when it's beautiful outside, open the windows and let fresh air in and such. But we'll really complete that project. So I just wanted to make you aware you had asked for an update.
Through the chair, could I ask a question? One of the complaints teachers had, and I know I had, was the noise of the evening events. So what the work they're doing, will they minimize that problem?
They will. So, in fact, some of that work, when it's reported, they go in and update materials as needed. So I don't believe that should be an issue
Oh, good.
any longer.
That's great.
Great.
Thank you.
The next item, wanted to just share with you the mock election. As we all know, we have official election results, and wanted to share, as you could see here, it really depended, it wasn't as much of a theme. Sometimes it's all in one way, but there was disparity among the schools. But I think the most important lesson in all of this is the importance that the civic lesson for students to go out and vote, and hopefully when they become of the opportunity. And also wanted to just thank too our town clerk, Deb Grimo, was extremely gracious in reaching out and working with Mr. Kennard through the AP government class in bringing students in as election workers. So I don't know if any of you saw them when we visited the polls, but what a great experience for them to be a part of that whole process. So I thank her for that collaboration.
Any comments?
Through the chair, I actually got to help out at Swanson Road, and the kids took it so seriously, and it was a really great thing to see. They thought there was a right or wrong answer, but they were still just very focused. And some kids had their Trump or their Clinton shirts on, but it was really great. They were very focused and excited, and very well behaved. It was very cute.
I have to say, there was quite a buzz around my house all the way up through last night, and they didn't want to go to bed, so definitely we lit a little fire under them, and that's great. Hopefully that continues throughout their adult life, because we certainly need everyone out there taking their part and doing their civic duty and getting to the polls each and every year, and actually for the local elections as well. And
Yes.
yeah, to see my kids getting into it, I was rather excited. I almost let them stay up a little bit later. I was overruled. We now move on to new business.
Wanted to make you aware, we were recently notified that the FY18 budget kickoff by Mr. Kazanovich and the Finance Committee will take place on Wednesday, November 30th at 7 in the Selectmen's Room at Town Hall. So Mrs. Worsbicky and I will definitely be there, and you are certainly all welcome to join as well. The Siza Charter School actually sent a report, and as noted in here, because we have a student who is attending that school, this is actually the first time to have received such a report from any of the charter schools, so it's certainly very welcomed. It was very lengthy. I did peruse through it. It's their 15-16 annual report. You received it electronically, and thank them certainly for sharing it with us.
Question? They sent us a report because we have one student there,
Correct.
but have we ever received reports from the other schools where we might have students?
We never have, no, not in my tenure anyway.
Oh.
We never have. And that was one of the initial intentions around charter schools were to be schools of innovation, and the plan being that they would then share with the local schools in which they had students enrolled from those communities, some of those reports. So I've not received any of them, so it was welcome to receive this from Siza, which is up in the Fitchburg-Leominster area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have someone that goes to Fitchburg for charter school?
We do. And oftentimes, if there are students who go out school choice, and we have very few who do, or in instances like this, oftentimes it coincides with the parents' work.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was kind of guessing it must be, because that's a long way to go.
Well, hopefully they're very successful there,
Yes.
and hopefully they're not missing too much here. Moving right along.
So I wanted to share with you, we sent notifications out to both the Swanson Road and Bryn Mawr School families to notify them. And this happens on a rotating basis and is part of an initiative to be sure that lead is not in the drinking water for students or above the action levels as determined by the Mass Department of Environmental Protection. So there was no lead detected in either of the schools. There was a slightly elevated level of copper in the Bryn Mawr School. So Mr. Fahey has been working with both Mr. Smith, the Auburn superintendent, water superintendent, as well as DEP. He's already changed the faucet, but it was only in the sink in the kitchen, not in the drinking fountains for the kids. And what the DEP recommends is simply run the water on cold and it dissipates. So, but we are seeking a more permanent solution, and they're going to retest it with the new faucet because they believe, since the fountain, which is probably 5 to 8 feet away and is fed by the same, it could very well be in the fixture. So we'll likely take care of it.
Seeing no comments?
Upcoming events, we've got the last of the literacy nights. I thank our elementary schools for hosting those, and believe it or not, it's already close to the end of Try One, which is always marked by the chorus and band concerts that are coming up. We have no school on Friday in recognition of Veterans Day, and want to, on behalf of the district, thank all of those who have served so that we have the freedoms that we do.
Thank you. Seeing no comments, we'll move on to the teaching and learning update. Dr. Lozay?
In your packet, you'll find a copy of the most recent Professional Development Day, which was this past Tuesday on November 8th. We were really fortunate to be able to collaborate with some area districts to send some of our specialty subgroups out. We sent PE out, physical education teachers, the foreign language teachers, and we also were able to send instructional assistants out to some areas that were hosting some very specific professional development, and we were all able to collaborate on that. In addition, music and art people were really excited that we sent them out on some site visits. Our teachers went to a sculpture museum. Some of our music teachers did a visit to Sutton to observe, as well as going to South Hadley to learn some more about instrumental instruction at a Jerry's music shop. The elementary worked with McGraw-Hill Publishing Company to go through Wonders, continue to go through Wonders, their new reading program, while the middle school and high school worked on refining their web pages through our new Midas program and all of the updates that they've provided. So the evaluations seem good at this point, and people are really positive. I also wanted to update you on our Chinese exchange program. Just recently, Dr. Grinnell and I met with Dr. Zhang, and she really sadly explained to us that the Chinese government has put a restriction on the exchange programs for the time being. This is a result of some tragic accidents that have happened to some Chinese students while they were in America, the bus accidents or car accidents that resulted in some fatalities. So therefore, our program is going to be a little delayed. We're hoping that by the end of winter or the beginning of spring that we'll be able to reinstate that, but that is dependent on the Chinese government. Some good news though, we share the bad and the good, that she has already recruited 12 host families that will take our Chinese students when they come our way, so we're excited about that. And once we're up and running again, they'll be ready to hit the ground. And of course, she is just one of the most enthusiastic individuals you'll meet, so she came in with yet another idea to keep us all interested. So she's proposing a Chinese cultural program. It's an after-school program, and we've decided to start that at the Auburn Middle School. So we met with Mr. Gagnon and Mr. Carlson, and they're very excited as well. And some of the ideas that she's put forth are a language club, a dragon dance team, calligraphy, and some Chinese painting, as well as maybe a tea ceremony. And all of this would culminate at the end with a parent presentation for parents to come in and really experience it as well. We'll keep you updated as it becomes more viable, but it's really exciting. November 18th is Substitute Appreciation Day. And in recognition of that, and we always tell our substitutes when they come in for our training just how vital they are to the continuation of education for our students. Our students are only here 180 days, so the days that a teacher has to be out, we want it to be as productive for them as when there's a teacher in the classroom. We've decided to send every single one of those 240 a letter of appreciation, really recognizing them for their work. And we also took an opportunity to do a recent review of area subrates. We kind of looked to the east and to the west. We kind of kept it in driving distance, thinking people wouldn't travel too much further than that to look at the rates that they were offering their subs. Because even though we have a large pool, there are many days that we have shortages. So this evening, I want to recommend to you some increases based on that survey that we did, and hopefully your approval. So the IAs currently earn $11.30 an hour as a sub, and we propose increasing that to $11.45 an hour. Our ABAs, who work with some of our most challenging students, earn $11.30 an hour, but we propose to increase that to $11.75 an hour. We have different levels of subs. Currently, an individual who is non-certified is paid $75 a day, but we would propose increasing that to $80. We also have people who sub who are certified teachers. They currently make $80 an hour, and we would like that increased to $85. And recently, we had decided on a new rate for our retired certified Auburn teachers. So they currently get $85 a day, but we'd like to increase that to $90. And then finally, our school nurse rate, which is really a difficult area to find subs, it's currently $125 a day, and we propose increasing that to $150 a day.
I would entertain that motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the increased sub rates as set out above.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions, comments? I think it's reasonable advances. All in favor? Aye, it is a vote.
And just to make you aware that recently, on October 25th, the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education made a decision, it was a unanimous decision, that they would begin to implement the 10th grade Next Generation MCAS beginning in the spring of 2019. That would be the class of 2021. Those students are presently our 8th graders at the middle school, who this year will take MCAS 2.0, and they will take that electronically. So they'll at least have some experience taking that type of test before they hit grade 10, where it's a graduation requirement. So we're fortunate for that. And up until 2019, our grade 10 students will continue to take the old MCAS, or what they're calling the legacy MCAS test. In addition to that, DESE is putting out an opportunity for people to attend some public forums on the Every Student Succeeds Act. This is a follow-up and update to No Child Left Behind Act. There are some significant changes between those two, so they would like to have people there to hear it, discuss it, and provide feedback. You have a link in your packet, as well as dates and places for those meetings if anyone is interested.
Dr. Lozay, have you had an opportunity to compare the two tests yet? Or
No,
no?
not at
You haven't
all.
had a sneak peek of anything?
No sneak peeks.
No? Any scuttlebutt?
No, I mean, I think the feeling out there is that it will be very similar to the PARCC test that we're taking,
Okay.
which will last year and all. So I think our students have a great advantage because we've done that for 2 years.
Dr. Bernal, did you hear anything at the conference about that?
I didn't hear anything otherwise. We were just talking about it earlier today, and I know my understanding is, in reports from a superintendent representative, they continue to build it, but the expectation is they're still saying it'll be ready for the spring. So
Wow.
I think we'll have to stay tuned to see. Yeah. Mm.
Okay, well, keep us posted.
We should.
Through the chair, so this public forum is open to the parents too?
It's open to the public.
The public,
Yep.
anyone?
Yep.
So for us, I guess the closest one would be at Oak Middle School in Shrewsbury.
Mm-hmm.
And that's Monday the... I lost the date.
21st, I think.
Oh, there it is, Monday the 21st. Okay, well, thank you.
So I think recently I had shared with you that the Mass Department of Ed again has just recently adopted new science standards. The elementary teachers will begin to work on that this summer. They kind of have full plates with the Wonders program right now, so I'm going to give them a little break. However, the middle school has actually had a science textbook committee in place since last fall. They were using the draft document to kind of guide their evaluations. Once the new standards became available, they then looked at their top programs against that particular document, and they proposed to us that they would like to purchase McGraw-Hill iScience program for students in grades 6 to 8. And what's interesting about this program is that it's really a Massachusetts customized product. It was created in conjunction with some of the professors through Cambridge College, right in Massachusetts. It's slightly different than the Next Generation Standards. Massachusetts offers choices about how you're going to do your science program, whether it's integrated or whether it's sequential. And the middle school has chosen to go with an integrated approach. So this customized product really fits their needs. They're very excited about it. Our first PD is already planned for January 13th. And parents are excited to hear that we have a new product coming as well. And finally, I think I might have talked a little bit about this at the beginning of the school year, but the leadership team has developed a new initiative. Every year we want to try something new, and this is called Learning Walk. So it's slightly different than when principals go into the classrooms and do an evaluation. Instead, this will involve a mixed group of professionals across the district. And to start, we will use administrators on the leadership team, but we might also include the business manager. And we go into classrooms. We spend about 2.5 hours in the school, and it's broken up into teams. And you go into a classroom for approximately 12 to 15 minutes, and we've devised a tool. So what are we going to focus on? So we pick one standard and some of the elements under that standard. We go in, we observe the teacher's behavior and the student's behavior and just document evidence. Then we go back as a group and we kind of calibrate what was found. So does this piece of evidence fall in exemplary range? Does this piece of evidence fall in a proficient range? And then we have discussions around that. So it will make us stronger as evaluators as we go forth. It will not be used for evaluative purposes, this particular data at all, for administrators or teachers. We will take all of that data, we'll analyze it, and we'll synthesize it, and we would give a report to a principal possibly that might say, I'm just going to throw in an example. So if we're going to look at a well-structured lesson, and there are certain elements to that, one element might be a posted measurable objective. We might be able to say, in the school, 70% of your teachers have well-written objectives on the board. We might be able to say 90% of them referred to that throughout the lesson, and then ask students to talk about that at the end of the lesson as a culminating event. I think it'll be a great tool for us to calibrate our practice as observers. I also think it would provide great opportunities for deeper discussions around trends in the district and maybe some next steps for us to focus on going forward. This year we're just going to pilot it. So there's 2 schools, the Auburn Middle School and Bryn Mawr will be part of it. And we work together on our rubrics, we work together on our focus pieces. Those have been brought back to at least the Auburn Middle School staff for their feedback, and we're really scheduled to do our first walk in December. And we kind of think it's going to be exciting and fun.
Will the classrooms be chosen on a volunteer basis?
Actually, no, and there'll be as many as we can fit into 2.5 hours, and it will just be assigned by a room number, so that there won't really be names attached to any of the data. We'll walk in, spend 15-20 minutes, not talking to the teacher, really not talking to students, documenting what we see going on behavior-wise, and I don't mean behaviors of kids, but just
But you never know.
calibrate a little bit in the hall, move on to the next one, and then come together as a larger group at the end to really talk about it.
But the teachers will know that you're coming on that day.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That might be a good idea.
Through the chair, they were actually excited. I mean,
They were.
Dr. Chamberlain's going to be rolling it out, the specifics to her staff. Mr. Gagnon rolled it out to his team, and we're not evaluating the teacher. It's an opportunity for us to all be looking at the same teacher and his or her actions and how we would rate that as evaluators, because we all have that role going into the classroom. So I think everyone's excited. In fact, some of them were asking if they would get specific feedback. And, we're going to be looking at trends. Any notes, if the principal wants to share some specifics, but we're not going to be noting specific teachers. It's going to be about trends that we see in the classroom. So,
And through the chair, so the staff will hear about these trends that you're noticing?
Yep.
Will they know what kind of things you're looking for?
Yes, we did share the exact rubric that we're
Okay.
using.
Yes.
And they will hear it as a trend too, they won't have it specific to them,
Okay.
the teacher. Other districts, area districts are presently doing them as well, so it's something that I think schools are thinking about in terms of what are our next steps. We've been in the evaluation process for a while with the new tool, but now what are some next steps to give us some more information so we can become even stronger?
Now, you mentioned the business manager. Are there any other uncommon evaluators that will be taking part? I mean, obviously, you've done some evaluations, Dr. Lizzie. Is
Yeah.
Joe Fahey going to be?
Well, we might ask them.
He would probably have good insights, I
would.
have to say. But Director of Technology will
Correct.
be a part of it.
Yeah,
Principal's assistant principal, Director of Pupil Services, Dr. Lozay, and myself, and the business manager, I think.
and eventually the goal would be to include teachers from
Oh,
other
it's school
schools.
committee.
And sure, we'll get you trained and ready to do it. And in some districts who have been doing it for a few years, they're actually asking people from outside their district, from other school districts, to come in and accompany them on some walks, because everybody's looking just for, maybe a little different lens to see things through, so.
And it's great to see how others are conducting their classes.
Exactly.
It's always nice to sit in. So, if you invite me, I may just show up.
Okay, okay.
And I will study the rubric ahead of time. Sounds great, Dr. Lozay. Thank you for that report. Any questions or comments before we let Dr. Lozay off the hook?
Thank you for being so good at what you do. Thank you.
All right, great. Moving on to policies.
I looked through, I'd been a bit remiss in going through the policy book in some time, so I went through the full section, the E section. So we have here a number of policies. The only one, there are a few in your packet that got in there by mistake, so we don't need to review them. And the ones right in the back, because they had been most recently reviewed back in 2015 and all in 2015. But so basically, we'd be looking at the first 7 policies as noted on the agenda, and where, as you can see in there, the changes are minimal. In some cases, there was no change. Those may have been in the very newest ones, but very minor changes just to reflect exactly what we do currently. So there are 2 of them, I guess. But I would recommend that you approve these, and it only would require 1 reading from you because the changes are so minor. It's really just, they're minor amendments.
If there's no disagreement from the committee, I would certainly entertain a motion to take these all in one.
I'd make a motion to take these all in one.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
This is a vote. That was easy enough.
Yeah, they seem straightforward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
No,
on our
that's all from
agenda?
us.
Okay, well, if there's no objection, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Do we?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
We can pass along any notes that we have tonight. Yeah, we'll make it brief.
On the back of the agenda, the motion, sorry.
Oh,
Well,
Come on, Gail. It's your thing.
I'll be right with you, Rich.
I got several here. I make a motion to go into executive session per Mass General Law, Chapter 30, Section 21A, to conduct strategies for negotiations with union and non-union personnel.
So have a second?
second.
Any questions, comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call vote.
Oh,
Karen?
Mrs. Harrington?
yes.
Mrs. Kaufman?
Yes.
Mrs. Holloway?
Yes.
Mr. Scobie?
Yes. Good night, everyone.